And I think a lot of the times, well, leaders have backed themselves into a corner, haven't they? You know, I've got to be on top of these numbers. I've got to be on top of this delivery. I am looked to by the business. And here we have a development area that is coming as a left field sort of shock, particularly when we see the change in demographics. So how that generational expectations around what engagement, conversations, authenticity looks like. You know, and we have millennials in senior positions and sort of Gen Z coming hot in on heels, and then we've got to sort of prepare our organizations for alpha after that. The arc over these next sort of couple of decades is so profound that we need to really sort of take that into consideration in terms of how we engage with people. And I suppose for me, this whole piece and why I like that, you know, this first one that we're starting with around PERMA is to give these practical models that sort of convert some of this talk into that's all great. And of course, we agree that we should all do that. But how do you sort of hone that in? And you know, for me, my sort of background is in that practical application. So if we took PERMA as the model, and we were talking to folks out there, and really interested to get people's feedback in the comments as well about this sort of stuff. But if we start with the P, the positive emotions, you know, that's kind of vague. If I said to a leader, right, I want you to really analyze and have a look at what positive emotions mean in your organization. So for me, to one of Carlos's earlier points, it's about linking the activity to the purpose. And we did a piece recently, didn't we, around purpose and values and so on. But actually, why does you being here matter? What you do, how does it matter to the output of the organization? And I think that we fail often in linking an individual's appreciation of what they do to the broader picture, not just their team or hitting their numbers, but where we're going as an organization. And I think that's lacking. And I would ask organizations to really analyze that and ask themselves some hard questions, because I guarantee you that it may be different on the shop floor, or it may be different at entry level than it is in sort of C-suite, ivory tower perceptions of that. So if that's the P, the E for me around engagement is about advocating for collective problem solving. So that links to that first bit, because if we are collectively looking at problem solving, we are collaborating, we're communicating, we're bringing in diversity of thought, we're doing all the role modeling of the things that we need to do. And that to me doesn't have to be hierarchical. So we're looking for problem solving and collective engagement, and that sort of feeling that I have proximity to power. I can bring my views, and worse than the cardinal sin for me is when we do get those, that we do nothing with them. And so it's really important to do that. You said we did, this was your input to this project, this was your input to this piece of work, really giving that sort of reflection back to where that participation comes from. Relationships, I think we've covered that in great detail, but a practical application for that is one of the things that I see work really well is mentorship programs. So to your point, Lisa, around you know, isolation and loneliness is just bad for you. It's bad for your health. It's deadly and toxic for your organization. And so mentorships, having those points, if somebody's rooting for you, you've got that sort of top cover, you've got access to experience and people who've been there and done that. That can be a really effective way to land some of that. Meaning promoting our corporate responsibility, why we're good, what we do, how we do it, where we're trying to go, the lives we're impacting, the difference our products and services make to human beings. Again, linking back to your involvement in that. An accomplishment. So sometimes I see a lot of, here's our awards at the end of the year. That's all great. Keep that. But for me, it's continual. So it's recognition, it's reward, it's you win, we all win. One wins, we all win. And it doesn't have to be just corporate wins. So to link them all together, who are the humans behind our organization? Who are the human beings involved in our team? What are they doing? What are their successes elsewhere? And again, sort of collaborating that. So I just wanted to drop those because I think those practical, there's lots more, and I think we'll talk about it in the comments and the, you know, in all of that sort of wash up stuff. But for me, it's about taking brilliant models like this and saying, right, what does that look and feel like in your organization? How do we measure performance? What do we get out of this? Do you know what I mean?